Well, good afternoon, everybody. Nice to chat with you. Just a few brief comments. I was just coming out of a meeting of freshman members of Congress with the Speaker. Went a little long, so I apologize for that. Uh, Another good week in Congress. Just want to highlight a couple things before we get into questions. We had a good appropriations bill last week on water issues. Just highlighting there that we got nearly $2 million for the jail in Adams County, and then on water projects from the Interior Environment Appropriations Bill, $1 million for the city of Palouse on wastewater treatment plant, $750,000 for the city of Ritzville on sewage collection improvements, $1 million to the city of College Place for water storage. Looks like another almost $1 million for the City of Republic water storage tank replacement project and $750,000 to Springdale. Delivering results for the for Eastern Washington there. The overall budget that we appropriated spent $2 billion less than what the Biden era budget did. So being more fiscally responsible while getting good wins for Eastern Washington is really, I think, winning here. One of my objectives here as a member of Congress. So I want to highlight those. There is a some movement in Congress to ban stock trades amongst members of Congress. That is a bill I strongly support. I have co-sponsored a couple different versions of that bill. I don't think members of Congress should sell individual stocks. It just gives a perception to the public that there's insider trader going on. Certainly, insider trading is already illegal under law, but the perception is a strong issue. So I just invest in total market index funds, and don't think members of Congress need to be purchasing individual stocks. Certainly, Nancy Pelosi is probably the most well-known suspicious stock trader here in Congress, has made an immense amount of money on stock trades while being in Congress. Any of you that follow the online Nancy Pelosi stock traders note that she has very good results beating the market, which is again gives a perception that to the American people that funny business is going on, and so that should be shut off. And then very pleased, probably my favorite thing of the week is we are once again launching our from the Classroom to Congress program. Each member of Congress gets one ticket to go to the State of the Union. And I am once again giving it to a teacher from Eastern Washington. The goal here is to build a sense of civics amongst our young people, improve civics education. And I know we got a lot of great teachers in Eastern Washington. My mother was 43 years the best kindergarten teacher in Eastern Washington. Like to celebrate our teachers. So would love if you all that cover me here in Congress would talk about this very special effort to get a teacher out here for the State of the Union. And we'll be doing more social media on that program as well too. Last year we had a great teacher from a rural part of Eastern Washington come out, and it was really neat following her story out here. So stay tuned for more on that. And with that, I will go to questions.
Well, thank you for that introduction, Congressman. Our first question is from someone we know very well. Orion from the Spokesman Review asks, last Thursday, you called on the USDA and HHS to review potential risk of fraud in benefit programs in Washington state. You noted that you weren't alleging any specific misconduct in the state, so why should those agencies review Washington in particular? On a related note, do you think it's appropriate for the federal government to target immigration enforcement actions against a particular ethnic group, Somalis in Minnesota, because some members of that group have been convicted in a fraud scheme?
Well, thanks, Ryan. We need. There has been, I guess, on the fraud part. Let me start. There the federal government is spending a lot of money, and we need to make sure that it's going to who it's intended to, and there's minimal amounts of waste, fraud, and abuse, and those participating in fraud and committing crimes need to be prosecuted and brought to justice. Certainly, going back to the COVID era, where billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars were rushed out the door to deal with the effects of COVID. There was a tremendous amount of fraud and waste involved in that. And what's going on in Minnesota has been extremely concerning, and we need to take a look. That's what the constituents that I represent are asking me to ask the federal government to take a look, and certainly want to represent the district in that. And to your question of should a specific group be targeted? Well, we need to follow the crimes and the evidence wherever it leads. And if there are significant problems amongst significant ethnic groups, we shouldn't not investigate those groups for the sake of wokeness or DEI. And I think people need to ask a lot of questions there, and we need to find out the answers. And again, hopefully they'll happen in Washington State. If you follow this issue in Washington State Legislature, there's a representative named Travis Couture, I think, that talks about some of the ways these programs work in Washington State, and that the state has perhaps not been doing its due diligence in terms of how federal funds have been used. So we'd like to see all of it recorded. And then I would also point out that former Democrat state auditor Brian Sonntag himself has asked for these kind of reviews and investigations on behalf of taxpayers. So there's a lot to be concerned about, and if there's no fraud, great. And if it is, let's find it, bring it to justice, and fix the system and do right by taxpayers.
Well, thank you for that, Congressman. Mark with KREM 2 asks, yesterday, hundreds of, I guess, students at Spokane Public Schools walked out of class in protest of ICE actions in Minneapolis and across the country. Have you seen the video of the ICE shooting of Renee Good? If so, what are your thoughts on it? And do you support an independent investigation into the shooting or a congressional hearing?
Yeah, I've seen various versions of the video, Mark, and thank you for the question. I was really disappointed that so many public elected officials like Governor Bob Ferguson rushed to make irresponsible statements. I think Governor Ferguson tweeted out that now ICE is murdering mothers in Minneapolis. That is highly irresponsible, and it fosters that kind of division and and paranoia amongst the public that's very dangerous. So it should be investigated. Obviously, it's a tragedy when anybody gets killed, but from what I've seen, it looks like a justified shooting in defense of the law enforcement officer, who I've also read reports has received when he was hit by the person's car, has now had internal bleeding and other dealing with other consequences. So if he was felt threatened for his life, but again, I do want to see it investigated and get those facts out, and responsible public officials should do better than they've done, particularly in our state, just to respond to a politically charged environment.
Well, thank you for that, Congressman. I'm just going to wait for one more minute to see if anybody else has a question. I spoke with Emily earlier, and she told me that she had some questions about the City of Palouse project that you secured $1 million for. So I would like to circle back to that. If you would like to tell us a little bit about that, that would be good.
Well, just thing I'd say about that, I met with City of Palouse, earlier in the year, and they talked about they're a small community with a legacy system, and the state and the federal government are requiring them to uh, improve or upgrade their water treatment systems. And these are new requirements from the state and the federal government, and the state and federal government are going to do this to a small community. It's appropriate that the federal government tried to provide some assistance for that. So that's under the EPA, and I'm pleased to help that project along.
Well, thank you for that, Congressman. And I know Ryan kind of has to follow up on all the stuff with ICE in Minneapolis. He said, to your point about the politically charged comments on the shooting in Minnesota, DHS Secretary Kristi Noem has called Renee Good a domestic terrorist. Do you agree with that characterization?
Again, I would like to refrain from making those kind of comments until there's an investigation, and I know more. I hadn't seen those comments. The ones I saw were the highly irresponsible comments by Governor Ferguson, stating that ICE was murdering mothers in the hours after the incident, which a governor and some a former attorney general should be a lot more responsible than that.
And then Emily chimed in on the chat about the police project that you secured $1 million for. She kind of wanted to ask, was it even more important to secure this funding in its final phase? And could you also speak to the importance of investing in rural infrastructure?
Yeah, so I'm somebody that grew up in Colton, Washington, and love our small towns in Eastern Washington. I love everybody in our district. Particularly, have a sweet spot in my heart for the small towns, and we want to help them with all the critical infrastructure, as appropriate. Certainly, that has to involve a strong local component, strong state component as well. But my goal here is to try to put America on a more fiscally responsible path than it has been on from the federal government, while still protecting and serving the people of Eastern Washington. And I think we did that with this project, and we'll have more to do. One of the things that I was surprised at in my first year in Congress was just how many folks come to Washington D.C. Asking for money and funds, and not all of them, I think, have a real strong federal nexus. I think some of the folks that come and ask me for money, they just have an idea or a concept or a challenge, and they say, "Well, let's try to see if Congress can give us some money. Why not?" But these water projects in particular, I feel very strongly about for our small towns.
Well, thank you for that. And Mark asks kind of another follow-up question. Just one more thing. One second. There's people questions that keep coming in, and I just lost my place. But he asks, the Senate recently voted to reassert itself when it comes to the president taking military action. He's talking about the Venezuela War Powers Resolution. Would you support that legislation in the House?
Well, I'm very comfortable with the president, the actions the president has taken in Venezuela. I going back to November, I once we parked our major aircraft carrier off the coast of Venezuela. I thought there was a strong likelihood of some type of military action in trying to promote America's national security interests. So, in terms of my view of the policy was carried out, I think it was very much in America's interest. And behind me, you're hearing the buzzers that say I have to go vote. So we'll have to cut this bit short. But I feel comfortable with what's been taken forward. And, I'm very concerned about the nexus of Iran and their terrorist group Hezbollah in Venezuela, and then also the Cuban regime that was guarding the special Cuban agents that have been running parts of the Venezuelan government, and then Russia and China's presence there. So we need to make sure that the Western Hemisphere and a key ally or a key country like Venezuela is not contrary to America's interests. Was there one more?
Yes. We have one more question from Orion, and that'll be all that we can take. He asks, regarding the congressional stock trading ban, Democratic leaders in the House have put forward their own alternative discharge petition that would also ban presidents and vice presidents from such trading. Would you support that? And do you see it as an effort to derail the bipartisan effort, the bipartisan discharge petition?
Well, I think it's an effort to try to make something political that should just be a straightforward policy of the House. So let's deal with the House first. I think very likely that they know that Pelosi has made a lot of money with these stock trades. It's embarrassing to her that they have their most prominent member of the Democrat conference is Speaker Pelosi, who's engaged in a lot of these trades through the years and become very wealthy. And my presumption is they are trying to interject the president and the vice president into it to probably try to sink the bill. But it would be, I think, what we need to do is just to pass the bill it is. And of course, more members of Congress could do what I'm doing, which is take a personal public make perfect public commitment to not engage in individual stock trades and just buy the total market if they are. Not only is that the right thing to do ethically, in my view, it also is a smart financial decision, and hopefully will also encourage our constituents to take prudent and wise investment decisions for the long-term investment gain. We did in the big beautiful bill we created new investment accounts for newborns in Washington state. And the requirement of those investment accounts is that they be invested not in individual stocks, but in the total market. So it's a good thing to do ethically for members of Congress, and it's a smart financial decision, both for members of Congress and just the general public. So just invest the total market, folks, not individual stocks. All right. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate you guys getting on these calls with us, and would really appreciate you covering our effort to increase civics understanding. We want to get as many, so the students have to do the nomination to get their teachers to be eligible to be selected. And we want as many teachers being nominated this year as we can. The State of the Union is a lot of fun. And I think there's really going to be a lot of interest in what President Trump says to Congress this year. And it's not that many people get to go to the State of the Union, and how wonderful it will be to have another wonderful teacher from Eastern Washington here with us. So stay tuned for more on that, and hopefully we get lots of applicants at our website. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. All right. Bye, guys.